Muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, and the love and support you guys always give me. From the heart, gracias. Do please also like, share, and hype the video. And well, before getting into the story on hand, I want to update, everyone, just real fast. As I'm speaking to you, I am going to be on my way to emergencies. Is I just can't take it no more, yo. I know you guys know, Michoacan was heavy. I was away from the hospitals way too much due to my situation. Something's failing in me bad, to the point that my legs are in pain. You guys know I'm always in pain, but my stomach started hurting bad and right above my belly button and down. I got like a ball, and it's just painful. I having way too much problems breathing. I wanted to buck up. You guys know how I am. I hate hospitals. I truly do, but I just can't take it no more. I can't cover things with one finger. Some of my family got back and they're like, they've been begging me since I got back to go. So, anyways, I don't know how long they're gonna keep me or what's gonna happen. All I know is that my niece is a little thing when it comes to internet. And she try to look it up and put what I have, and I guess it's been serious. But anyways, I don't tell you guys this for anything else, and I consider everyone a friend, and I'm just updating you in case. Well, you guys know I'm literally at that border, right? So I don't know. I will be keeping you updated. This phone right here that the homie sent, he's should be working. But if not, my niece, you guys know my niece will be informing you on what's going on. And I do it out of respect and love. I don't do it in no way, shape, or form for anything else than that. But anyways, I want to leave a short story. I don't know when my niece will put it up, but she will. Today I want to take you guys back to 97, San Quentin to be exact, right? And it's a time where I was being hard-headed, a knucklehead, right? For one, Raul had not came out yet that he was a señor. He was just my celly from Riverside, you could say that. But I had that thing on me, why, hey, baby, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Stay out my way or I'm gonna ramp through you. It's just the way I'm stupid, point blank. But I wanted to talk about this one time, and it should be in registered, Quilmas, right? Anyways, I want to talk about the homie Ratón from East Side San Bruta, Santa Barbara. He was an older homie, and him, like others, they thought of San Quentin like like a fish tank, silos. We're homies from up north. We're not really plugged in like that, right? And in a sense, he was right at this moment, right? But nevertheless, just certain things you're plugged in or not just don't make sense. And not being in touch with somebody or whatever. It's a big difference between being punks, right? Anyways, when the vato arrived, he arrived in the second tier, right? I remember his celly was a homie Capone from Sanjo, and at first he was feeding us. He just the vato was older, so he stood by himself, which was understandable. And be honest, Raul, him, and later on found out the other Pili from OC, Larry, and other older vatos. They had their own little bolita, right? Their own little ranfla on the yard of older vatos. And for some reason, when Raul and them they wanted to bring the homie into their circle per se, he didn't want no part of it. I mean, he didn't openly nothing like that, right? But they went over there and introduced themselves and all that. And the vato just said mucho gusto and he went off by himself, right? Well, anyways, about a month when he got there, comfort kicks in, right? That happens on every vato that has skeletons in their closet. They always come out to your feeling nervous, shady, sketchy. You know, with time, I would learn to pick up on it, right? And he starts feeling comfortable, and next thing you know, he's putting out that he has palabra on the yard, that he has the yard for Toledo, right? For Boxer from Avenues. And, all we could do is say, we're going to run a make. And at the moment, I'll be sincere, Primo had just left, Speedy, and a couple vatos that were coming down from the bay that could check on it. So the only option was to wait till something happens, right? And we used to go to East Block Overflow, and we would be able to touch base with the Peelies there, in death row. Anyways, the vato, he started doing a lot of shady stuff, excuse me. For example, up until this point, to us it was real clear, right? There was no other color in between. It was white or black. For example, you're good, everything's good, firmes. In San Quentin, the way we had it was if you messed up, if you had something on your jacket, you're done. We're gonna whack you. It's we're already slammed, and when we boogie tough. Anyways, he started bringing other barriers, excuse me, other things to the discipline, right? Which it was cool. You know, I'll be sincere. I was still on that tip. You come and tell me something that I feel that ain't right. The moment you're telling me I ain't right, I'm gonna take flight. Again, these were the things that I got my ears smacked back later on by Raul, right? I could never come out and program per se with the camaradas because I was always chasing tears and sales, to, you guys know. I believe one time, the whole time I was in Quilmas, I actually went out and played handball. But anyways, Raul started feeling some type of way about homeboy. You know, again, he was just a camarada from Riverside, right? Older vato. And it just didn't feel right because he started You could say he started clipping them camaradas for feria. Started small, with envelopes, chanat, you know, popoca or tabaco, and then 50 bucks here, 100 here. Oh, they're going out to the pili, right? Well, anyways, Raul and Larry said they were going to check on it. You know, the paperwork, they were coming down from the bay, so the homie sent word, right? And it came back that Charles, homeboy did used to work for Boxer from Avenues, but he had done a disappearing act in High Desert, you know. And with this, I'll say this. Recently, I've seen a lot of back and forth between, it's not important, right? Just a word of advice. Make sure the ones you speak up for, you know their history. This is not speaking about Houdini. I'm not going to say who, but there's a certain creator right now. He feels the same way. He picked up trust already. He feels bossy. On his last term up north, I know for a fact he did a disappearing act when they gave him responsibilities because of his mouth and could not take. So, I say it because he's real open with shaming people. I'm not speaking about that cat that's no good, paperwork's out there, his butt buddy, none of that. You know, someone that he's just out there way too much, man. So I say again with respect to everyone, be trucha, I said it when I started the channel, don't trust nobody on YouTube. That includes myself. I'm not this vatos trying to guide someone away and at the same time pump myself for you guys to trust me, run with me, whatever, right? No. If you guys see something since I've been on here that I flip flop, change, whatever, you know, don't trust me either. At the end of the day, the message is for everyone to be smart and take care of themselves. But getting back to the story, when we confronted Homeboy, right? Ratón from Santa Barbara, right away the vato felt offended. You know, he felt real offended. And by this, we had already set up, Raul had told me, hey, we gotta look for a camarada that's doing a lot of time so I could go ahead and take care of him because we brought him up to Boxer and we gotta deal with it correctly. So, you guys know the dummy, right? Lifted his hand, I not touched on this because you guys know I hate doing these stories where I did something, it will come out in a sense of glorifying it, right? Because I'm not. There ain't nothing there but a bunch of pain and heartache, straight up. But anyways, I lifted my hand and I told him since it was coming from a señor, Mousy had a little habit of when we went out to showers, he had a homeboy from East Side Santa Barbara, right? And he was on the fifth tier. That he would literally go up there, get Guariche, Popoca, whatever his homeboy hooked him up with, or him and his homeboy. So, anyways, After we told him, we started feeling the cat was shady, right? He was very distant, but it's like he hit his brakes. He was going buck wild. He was uh he was on every homie. All of a sudden we told him and he stopped. So that's a sign of guilt, right? Got nothing to hide, you keep pushing. Again, we had that mapilo. And anyways, I waited for him with the homie also from 213 in LA in the fourth tier. And well, those have been to Quilma, no. Ice picks are real easy to come by. And we took care of business, right? Took care of business, and the homie also made the homie fly off the fourth tier. Again, 1997, it should be on record, right? But anyways, we would have, we would punch. But you guys know how mainline is too. Everybody's opening their little their mouth. So we would eventually get rolled up, taken to the hole, and you know, the homie was a lifer like I was, so it really didn't matter. We took the report back there, everything, this was actually the cause of when I got back. We put in the bed move, and it's how Raul sat me down and basically told me to stop being a torpedo. It was a recipe for disaster when it came to my career. But anyways, there's many people like that in the system. We hear about this, and that. No, it's a Tecato's world, snake world. It's a lot of vatos that know how to play the system. The camaradas, the pilis, and they, without knowing that you're walking around trash. And when I'm speaking about trash, I'm speaking about trash. Foods that got R's, chomos, them type of charges. But since they're able to wiggle it, their feria is worth their good status. And for you as a good person, good campolero, to have to walk around them. Tell me that makes sense. Anyways, I wanted to tell this story for a while. Because, I also wanted to tell everyone pay attention to when a person did a whole bunch of time and maintain his butt on one prison. It's only two things. He was feeding IGI with information to stay on that yard, or he was giving up people who's bringing in dope, things like that. Is how he was kept there. Especially if he says he always had a sense of responsibility for the pilis on the yard. But more so pay attention to the dates. All of a sudden, you get validated. A couple months later, you're calling in quits. It's because you know you were doing everything wrong and you knew what you had coming by stating you were somebody when you were working for a camarada, not a pili. Anyways, I say this again in the hopes that I could, you guys know I don't speak about third parties. I want no part of it. I got enough problems in my life to look for extra ones when there shouldn't be. Either you're good, bad, Stay on your side. Put out the message what you should for people, right? Don't mean we have to mix, straight up. But anyways, I'm saying all this because again, I'm seeing all the chaos and just so that everybody is able to, you know, like always, get a glimpse in. So when you see things, you're able to pinpoint them. Again, include myself in this. With this said, I got my niece waiting for me and my uncle, so I'll be heading out to where I mentioned to you guys. If I don't speak to you in a few days, do know I send my love. Stay blessed. Stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones.